This is Mr. McGough, and I'm going to be going over the Algebra 2 Honors Unit 1 Day 3 homework. For B-Day students, this would have been due today, Friday. However, due to the smoke day, we won't get a chance to go over this in class. So, first off, we're going to start with the graphing of functions. So, on number 1, we have y equal to 3x minus 7. When we look at this, this is in the form y equals mx plus b. M is slope, the slope is 3. If you want to think about it as a fraction, that is 3 over 1, rise over run. My y-intercept, the point where the line crosses the y-axis, is at negative 7 for y value. That's actually the point 0, comma, negative 7. So we plot the point 0, negative 7, and then we go up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, and draw our line. On question number 2, y equals 2/3 x minus 5. Again, our slope is 2/3, so up 2 over 3, and our y-intercept is the point 0, comma, negative 5. So we start with our y-intercept at 0, negative 5, and we will go up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. On question number 3, here our slope, the coefficient of x, is negative 1 over 3. And our y-intercept is 8, or the point 0, comma, 8. So we plot our intercept at 0, 8, and then we want to go down 1 and right 3. Down 1, right 3. And plot our line. Moving on, question number 4. Our coefficient of x is our slope. That slope is negative 1. And our intercept is 0, comma, negative 8. We plot our intercept at 0, negative 8, down 1, over 1. Plot our line. On question number 5, this is not yet in slope-intercept form. To get it into slope-intercept form, we have to isolate y on the left side of the equation and get it in the form y equals mx plus b. So, we subtract 5x from each side. I'll make a little room here. So negative 10y equals negative 5x plus 15. We then divide both sides by negative 10, all elements of both sides. So y on the left equals negative 5 divided by negative 10, which is positive 1/2 of x, plus negative 3/2. So negative 3/2 is our intercept. That's the point 0, comma, negative 3/2. We estimate as best we can where negative 3/2 would be. And then we're going to go up 1 and over 2. Up 1 and over 2. And plot our line. Similarly on number 6, we have to isolate y and get it into the form y equals mx plus b. This one's a little easier than question 5. Here we just multiply both sides times 2. We get y equals 4x. There is no b term because actually there is. It's a 0. So that's the point 0, comma 0, or the origin. And our slope is 4 over 1. So we start from our origin. We go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. On question number 7, we have to isolate y to the left side of the equation. So we subtract 3x from both sides. And we get negative 4y equals negative 3x plus 12, and then divide both sides by negative 4. So y equals 3/4 x. Negative 3 divided by negative 4 cancels out the negatives. Minus 3. 12 divided by negative 4 is negative 3. So I start at my y-intercept at the point 0, comma, negative 3. And then I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and plot my line. Number 8, Pretty straightforward. Y equals -7. It is a horizontal line at y equals -7. Question number 9. This only has an x value. Divide both sides by 2 and we get x equals 8. Note this is not a function, it is a vertical line at x equals 8. On number 10, we're going to write the equation for the line. The easiest way to write the equation is in y equals mx plus b format. So first we find b, our y-intercept. In this case, it's +9, so that's the point 0, +9. The point where the line crosses the y-axis. And then we check for our slope. If it's going downhill, it's a negative slope. Down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. You do that by finding where the graphed line exactly crosses the intersection of an xy unit. So this is the point 1, 5. This is the point 2, 1. If we wanted, we could calculate slope by taking those 2 points and do m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We will call this point x1, y1. We will call this point x2, y2. So you can do the math on your own, or you can just count it down off of the graph. Number 11 also has a negative slope. First we look for the intercept. It intercepts at the intersection of the x and the y axis. So at the origin, that is the point 0, 0. So b is that y value, 0. So I don't even bother writing it in on my line equation. And then I'm taking a look for the slope. So I pick a point, a second point on the line. This happens to be the point -4, 1. And then I count down and over. Down 1, over 4. Down 1, over 4. On question number 12, it's a vertical line at x equals 8 for all y values. Number 13, a line with slope equals 3 passing through the point 6, 2. The easiest way to write this then is going to be point slope using the point slope form. So if we use the point slope form, point slope says that we have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This is x1, y1. So y minus 2 equals slope 3 times x minus 6. If we wanted to convert that into slope-intercept form, we would add 2 to both sides and distribute the 3. So we would have 3x minus 18 plus 2. We combine our like terms, and y equals 3x minus 16. On question 14, slope with line -3 passing through 5, 1. Again, slope point or point slope form. Here's my point, 5, 1. So I will plug in y1 and x1 into my form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And I've also done my distribution, collected my terms to the right to give it also in slope-intercept form. 15, once again, point slope. Here, y1 is 2, but x1 is 0. So in point slope form, this is actually y minus 2 equals -2 times x minus 0 in point slope form. This one's a pretty easy distribution though. 0 goes away, I get -2x. On the y side, I'll add 2 to both sides to get me into y equals mx plus b, or slope-intercept form. 15 I had left for you to do, but since you aren't here, we'll do it together. So the first thing I want to do on number 16 is calculate my slope. On both the point slope and slope intercept form, I need that. So what is slope equal to? It is the difference of y2 minus y1 divided by the difference x2 minus x1. Does it matter which point I call x1, y1, and which one I call x2, y2? Nope, just pick one. So I'm just going to pick one. x1, y1, x2, y2. What is important is after you decide which is point 1 and which is point 2, keep them that way because they line up in the equation. Don't switch them. So, using the way I've set it up, y2 is 3 minus y1 is 1. That's on top. Divided by x2 is 3 minus x1 is 6. So that becomes 2 over negative 3. Positive divided by a negative, or a negative divided by a positive, the whole thing is negative. Negative 2/3. Now you have a choice. You can pick one of the points and just write this in point slope form, or you can then distribute through and put it into slope intercept form. I'll do it the easy way. Y minus 3. By the way, it also doesn't matter which one you call it. For consistency, I'll go ahead and use y1 since the equation asks you to use y1, but it doesn't matter. Y minus 1 equals negative 2/3 x minus x1, which is 6. Number 17. This asks us for a line passing through the origin and the point 8, 2. So passing through the origin, I have the point 0, 0. And I have the point 8, 2. So again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Gives us 2 minus 0 on top, divided by 8 minus 0 on the bottom. 2/8 can be reduced to 1/4. It passes through the origin. So here I'm given my y-intercept, b. So really this is 1/4 x plus 0, but no reason to write plus 0 because it literally means nothing is being added. A line passing through the point -1, 3 and -1, 5. Here I see that I have the same x value. So that means if I plotted this, I would have -1, 3 and -1, 5. That would be a vertical line passing through the point x equals -1. So we can actually just jump right to the solution, x equals -1. The other approach would be to go ahead and calculate my slope, which will be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. But here we see -1 minus -1 is the same as saying -1 plus 1, which is 0. So here our slope is undefined, which also goes along with our graph. It is a vertical line at x equals -1. For number 19, a line passing through 0, 10 and 5, 0. Here we already are given our b value, because that is the point where x equals 0, and we can calculate our slope. y2 minus y1, 0 minus 10, over x2 minus x1, -5 minus 0. 0 minus 10 is -10. -5 minus 0 is -5. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. And 10 divided by 5 is 2. So our slope is 2. And as I said, we already had our b value at +10. On number 20, a line with an x-intercept of -2 and a y-intercept of 6. An x-intercept of -2 means it's the point where the line crosses the x-axis at -2. So the y value at that point is 0. And then I have the y-intercept at +6, which is when x equals 0. So I can write both of those points, x1, y1, x2, y2, and plug them into my slope equation. 6 minus 0 on top, 0 minus -2 on the bottom, so 6 divided by 2 is 3, my slope. And I was given my y-intercept value b of 6. And that is all for 1.3. Thank you.